Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for In Time. It's a movie starring Justin Timberlake and Amanda Seyfried, as well as Cillian Murphy and a little bit of Olivia Wilde, a little bit of some other people, but yeah. So as always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. To start with the furry, there isn't any. Moving on to the good and the bad. So this movie is one of my favorite movies of all time, and it has been since it came out, because it is such a beautifully made film. Like, every bit of it seems to be thoroughly thought out. The world that they establish, the rules and how they establish them, and the dialogue in which they use in order to establish this world, and just how the scenes are shot. Like, it's so, yes, they have like a tiny bit of opening narration, but it gives you just enough to understand where things are at. But like, even the opening, where it just slowly zooms out of the ticking clock on the arm, is just so perfect, because it gives you that time to be introduced to this world as he's going over, and then also it gives you the time to see that, like, it's not a technology, like, there's not a device in there that you can just yank out and be like, haha, I'm free. It's straight up built into their genetics. And the concept of this film is that everyone starts off with a year on their arm, and as soon as they hit 25, boom, that countdown starts going from, a year down to 364 days and down from there. And it's because you stop aging at 25. So no one ages after 25. So you're 50 years old, you're 150 years old, whatever, you are still 25. But that's the key, is that your clock starts going down. So there is no other currency. It is straight up just time. And I think that is so perfect, because if you think about it, that's really all the currency is. Because if you decide to stop for some coffee, right? And you're in, let's pretend you're in line for an hour. So you're in line for an hour, and then let's say that you make $10 an hour, and the coffee costs $10. So you were in line for an hour, and the coffee costs $10. So you have now spent 2 of your working hours worth of money on that, because you had an hour in line and an hour cost for how much you make per hour for the coffee. So that's what you got to think about when looking at what you're spending money on. So, if you work 40 hours a week, you have just spent 2 of those hours for 1 cup of coffee, both in terms of your time and that. And so in this movie, they straight up like take out the middleman of money, and it's just you pay for things by, scanning and taking, and it takes away your time. So if you spend 4 minutes for a cup of coffee, well, you have spent 4 minutes. That's how the currency is. But much like with, inflation with real world currency, prices there change as well. So a cup of coffee might not cost you 4 minutes anymore. It might be 5 minutes that it costs. So, what you have to do with your job and the money that the money that you make, and what you spend it on. And so that is such a beautiful concept in this, because I think it should help crystallize that type of thinking for how you spend your life and what you spend your time on, because that is what you're spending. You are spending your time, which is your life, doing whatever it is you're doing. So if it's something you enjoy, great. If it's not, why are you doing it? Because time is the only currency you have in their world, and realistically in ours, time is the most important thing. So thank you for spending the time watching this video. So the other thing is that it's just filled with beautiful people. Like, Justin Timberlake is one of those beautiful men alive, and Amanda Seyfried is one of the most beautiful females alive. And Cillian Murphy, Cillian, I think it's Cillian. Cillian Murphy, his eyes, just every minute that his face is on screen, I'm just like, yes, stare at the screen more, because I just want more of your eyes. It's just so amazing. And like I said, every minute of this film, it is so deliberate, and it's well shot, because I wouldn't say it's a super complicated thing, but the nuances of how an economy that works with time and giving it, spending it, earning it, etc., could be just so difficult to show or narrate or have an opening scroll or in some way to make it not confusing. And this movie does it in such a natural way. Like, there is the only piece of clunky dialogue I think happened when somebody was like, oh, I've been on this world for 83 years, or I've been 25 for 83 years like me. Like, that line, That is the only time that I think it was clunky, and it was only to establish the age of that character. And I think every other time that age, time, whatever, and how money is moved, I think it is so natural. And it flows so nicely. Like, you might be wondering, okay, well, how does a kid, how does somebody who has that year that doesn't start ticking until they hit 25, how do they survive? How does that work? They answer that in a organic way. And that, on top of the excellent action, the excellent chase sequences, the beautiful sets, I like how they establish the technology and the style. Because if you think about these people that, think about rich people nowadays. They don't have anything to worry about, so what are they going to spend their money on? Like, what are they going to do? How is style going to change? How is, what you do and spend your time on, and how fashion and everything else work? And I absolutely love how this film shows it. It also shows the dangers of some other types of thinking. Like, it's fun because it shows you two sides of things. I don't want to get too far into that because I feel like it gets into a little bit of spoiler territory, so I'm not going to. But just understand that I think that it presents an interesting philosophical argument, and it doesn't just show you a slanted view of one way of thinking or the other. I think that it shows it to you, and it leaves you to draw your own conclusion about the philosophy of it, but it doesn't leave you wondering for the movie itself. And I think that that is a challenging thing to do, and I think that they do it so well. So yeah, this film is absolutely fantastic. I wouldn't change a damn thing about it. It is just absolutely beautiful. And okay, maybe there was this one bit of CGI that was a little off, but I don't even know if you'll notice it. But other than that, there's nothing else that I would change about this movie because I think it is just perfect, and I think it is, pardon the pun, timeless. Because I think it holds up today just as much as it held up the day that it came out, and I hope that everyone here watches it, and I hope you enjoy it like I did, because I don't know anybody who wouldn't enjoy this film who likes hot 25-year-olds, awesome technology, and amazing storyline with great set design and costume design and everything else. So go watch this movie. Try and watch it on a big screen because they gorgeous, okay? So that's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.